Hey Khuram. How's your day going today?
Hey Amira. It's going great. I'm just relaxing and taking it easy. How about you?
Same here. Just enjoying a peaceful day. So, I've been thinking about how a lot of English learners struggle when they don't have someone to practice with.
I know exactly what you mean. I've heard from many people who say they feel stuck when there's no one around to talk to.
Yep. It's like, you're learning all these new words and grammar rules, but you don't have anyone to test it out on. That can be frustrating.
It's like you're practicing in a vacuum. You've got all this knowledge, but it's not coming out in real conversations. That's why we need to get creative.
Exactly. So, today I thought we could share some ways to practice English even when you don't have anyone to speak with.
Sounds like a fantastic idea. I think it'll be really helpful for everyone listening.
Yeah, and the best part is, practicing on your own can actually be really fun. You just have to think outside the box.
That's the key, making it enjoyable so you don't feel like it's a task. Let's dive into it.
What to do when you don't have anyone to speak with. 1. Listen to podcasts or watch English shows. Okay, let's start with something super easy, listening. Whether it's podcasts, YouTube videos, or TV shows, you can practice just by listening to English.
That's a big one. You get to hear how native speakers use the language in real-life conversations. You can learn new words and phrases while also getting familiar with different accents.
Absolutely. And the cool part is, you can choose topics that interest you, whether it's about cooking, sports, science, or anything else. The key is to enjoy it, so it doesn't feel like studying.
I totally agree. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, it's much easier to stay engaged and pick up new expressions naturally. Plus, you get to hear those casual phrases that people actually use in daily life.
Right. And don't just listen passively. Pause and repeat what they say. Mimic the tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's like a mini language workout.
Exactly. You get to practice not only your listening but also your speaking at the same time. It's like training your mouth to say words correctly, just like an actor would rehearse their lines.
And it helps you improve your accent, too. You get to hear how native speakers say things naturally.
Yes. And the more you mimic, the more you'll start sounding natural yourself. Eventually, it won't even feel like practice, it'll just become part of your everyday speech.
2. Reading aloud. Another great way to practice is reading aloud. Whether it's a book, article, or even a short post online, reading out loud helps you practice speaking.
Yes. You're combining reading and speaking, so it's a double win. It's also a great way to practice your pronunciation.
Right. And if you're reading along with a transcript or subtitles, you're also practicing sentence structure and grammar. It's like you're absorbing the language in multiple ways.
Exactly. When you see the words in print and say them aloud, it helps cement them in your memory. Plus, it gives you a deeper understanding of how sentences are formed.
If you're reading from a book, make sure to pause occasionally and repeat tricky words or phrases. You'll be amazed at how quickly you'll improve.
And don't forget about the intonation. Reading with the correct intonation will help you sound more natural. Try to match the emotion or feeling in the text.
Oh, that's a great point. Like, when reading dialogue, try to speak as though you're actually in the conversation. You can even use different voices or accents if you're feeling creative.
Haha, I love that. It's like acting. And it'll make the reading practice way more fun and engaging.
3. Record yourself speaking. Now, here's a tip that's really useful but might feel a little weird at first. Recording yourself speaking.
Oh, I know this one. It's so valuable, though. You get to hear yourself and spot any mistakes or awkward phrasing. Plus, it helps with building confidence because you can track your progress over time.
Exactly. You can listen to your recordings and notice things like word stress, pronunciation, or if your sentences flow well. It's like having your own language coach.
That's such a good point. And you can replay your recordings as many times as you need. Plus, the more you hear yourself speaking, the more comfortable it becomes.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. The goal is to improve, not be perfect. It's all part of the learning process.
Yeah, it's so normal to make mistakes. Recording yourself lets you notice where you can improve, so you can focus on those areas next time.
4. Use language apps and language exchange platforms. Alright, let's talk about language apps. There are tons of language apps that can help you practice speaking, listening, and even writing.
Yeah, apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or HelloTalk are amazing. They give you a chance to practice every day, and you can track your progress.
For sure. The great thing is, you can practice at your own pace, and some apps even let you speak with native speakers. So, even if you don't have someone nearby, there are plenty of ways to connect online.
Yep, platforms like HelloTalk let you text or voice message with native speakers. It's like having a conversation with someone, but through text or audio.
That's a great way to learn phrases in context. It's like learning a language while making new friends.
Exactly. And when you chat with native speakers, you get immediate feedback, which is really helpful. It's almost like having a personal tutor.
5. Try thinking in English. Another tip that's really powerful is thinking in English. Try to narrate your thoughts in English as you go about your day.
Oh, I love that idea. It's a great way to immerse yourself in English. When you think in English, you reduce the need to translate from your native language, which helps you become more fluent.
Exactly. And it's so easy to do. Whether you're cooking, cleaning, or just walking down the street, describe things in your mind using English.
That's a good way to practice vocabulary. You can think about the items you see, the actions you're doing, or even your emotions in English. It's like turning every moment into a mini English lesson.
Yep. And even if you're not speaking aloud, your brain is still processing English. Over time, it becomes more natural to think in English and express your ideas without translating.
And it saves you so much time. Instead of struggling to find words in English, your brain will automatically access them, just like when you speak your native language.
More ways to practice alone. 6. Practice through writing. Writing is another awesome way to practice when you're alone. Start journaling or writing about your day in English.
Oh, I love that. Writing not only helps you practice grammar and vocabulary, but it also helps you organize your thoughts in English.
Exactly. And the best part is, there's no pressure to speak perfectly, it's all about expressing yourself. You can focus on what you want to say rather than worrying about mistakes.
Yeah, and when you go back and read your writing later, you can spot mistakes and areas to improve. It's like having a personal reflection time for your language skills.
Plus, if you ever want to get really creative, you can try writing short stories or even dialogue between characters. It's like role-playing on paper.
Oh, I like that. It makes learning English more fun and creative. You get to play with the language and explore different situations through writing.
Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope these tips help you stay motivated and keep improving your English, even when you're practicing alone.
Yes, exactly. Remember, consistency is key, and it doesn't have to be boring. Make learning fun, and you'll see big improvements.
Thanks for joining me today, Khuram. It's always a blast talking with you.
Always a pleasure, Amira. Can't wait for our next chat.
And to everyone listening, keep practicing, stay curious, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every step forward counts.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone, and happy learning.